Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sun Theatre, located in Ballarat Street, Yarraville. It certainly looks like the place to be tonight on the 29th of April in the year of 1938, with the official opening of the new Sun Theatre. What better way to open a new theatre than with the premiere of the movie Maytime, starring Jeanette MacDonald and Nelson Eddy. This beautiful new cinema has attracted attention from the other side of the world, receiving praise from Hollywood, California through the Telegraph from such stars as Joan Crawford and Clark Gable. This stunning building, which was built by Hanson and Yuncken, was to a design that was conceived by the very famous architects Cowper, Murphy and Appleford. The Yeoman family, who are the owners, also own and operate 4 other cinemas in Melbourne's west. The theatre is the first in Melbourne to employ the parabolic sloping floor, which resulted in better visibility, sound distribution and lower distortion of the image. It was considered a far better arrangement than the conventional design of the time. Yes, sir or madam, it looks like the Sun Theatre is certainly the place to be. The Yeomans owned the cinema for over 30 years until public interest began to fade due to the advent of television. For a number of years, the Sun Theatre sat dormant, becoming the victim of vandalism and decay. That was until movie screens and curtain manufacturer Michael Smith was in need of a place for his operations to be carried out.
I had been looking for an old cinema somewhere in Melbourne to move our factory to, or our workshop, and I'd been doing some work at the Nova, and Brian Davis, who's a local resident who'd been working around movies for years, was doing some work there as well, and he said I needed to go and have a look at the old Sun in Yarraville. And I came over and found this amazing old building that was absolutely ramshackled, and the front was all boarded up. Yeah, it reminded me of the classic old cinemas of the 30s, as opposed to the Astor, which is quite florally, and even the Westgarth and a lot of the other Art Deco cinemas. This was very streamlined. It reminded me of that Spirit of Progress train image. Yeah, the inside of the theatre was quite damaged, but there was, yeah, the remnants were still there. So, I mean, the bits of the ceiling were hanging down in the foyer, but they were still hanging there and we could put it back. So we had a different plan of how to put it back together, and it was to celebrate the architecture that remained, but to make it usable, we divided it up into the separate cinemas and yeah, celebrated what was left rather than try to recreate it. It took a lot of years of working in one area at a time. A lot of the old plaster the plaster cornices are made in the old style, and it was quite hard to find someone to repair it. And we found a retired plasterer who worked here on and off for a year. Just he'd come and do a little bit and then go away and come back. So, yeah.
Now, of course, let's bring things back to the present. Currently, the Sun Theatre has 4 fully functional cinemas: the Berkeley, the Grand, the Lyric and the Trocadero, all named after cinemas in the area that are no longer in operation. Each cinema plays modern releases and a selection of art house films. The Sun can also be booked for private functions.
Apart from the beautiful Art Deco environment, we also are licensed and we've got lots of great things to offer at the candy bar. People generally take in a glass of champagne with them and take it to the movie, and they sit down and there's a group of little coffee tables that they can rest their glass on. It's very civilised.
In the system that I used to use anyway, would punch a couple of buttons which would transfer sound and vision to that other projector, which by that stage will have run through its 8765432 and would be on the screen. So that's the old system. New system, you have one projector, so it's more economical with space in a bio box. So the film pays out through the centre of this big sort of donut of film, but then it comes and wraps back around another collar on a lower or a higher platter, which means that you've got the same sort of setup, so there's no rewinding of film. You just put the little payout module back into the centre and you pay out again. So really, the turnaround times for film is very quick.
There's not much to tell, there's just a lot of ghosts wandering around. They seem to enjoy the place, so obviously that's why they're staying, but yeah, I think they think this is their home, so it's just a lot wandering around.
My hope, my desire would be that we retain what will be 6 cinemas as film projecting cinemas with video, digital projection in a few of those cinemas, so you've got the either or option.
I think in the same way that there's a resurgence in the local butcher and the local fruit shop for offering a boutique food service, I think the Sun Theatre and similar cinemas are the cinemas that will last well into the future.
Well, that's all we have time for. Maybe one day I'll see you at the Sun Theatre.